Everybody's a winner.
So you got a deal. Maybe it's a deal. You don't know if it's really a deal, right? You need multiple exit strategies to be able to work your way out of maybe deals. And we're going to talk about one exit strategy that we are starting to use in order to exit deals. We're going to talk about our first property that we got under contract and we're now listing it on the market. We're going to talk about, some of the good things, some of the bad things, some of the struggles that we had along the way, and some of the benefits of being able to get people under contract and listed on the market before we ever purchase the property. We're going to share with you a little bit about the numbers, what we're looking like we might be able to pull off. But I'm excited, man, to share with y'all a little bit of a different strategy, still wholesaling, but doing it a little different in order to make it work in this challenging market. So let's get right into it, man. What's going on, Cordero?
Yeah, man. I'm actually excited about this one too. Like, this is like, I don't know, win, lose, or draw. This is kind of like what I would call like a trophy deal. Like, this is not even about the numbers. It's not like, oh, this is the 100K deal. It's just the fact that, first of all, this is how we set it up. What we kind of just like what the speed of execution is important. And we kind of got this deal, and I was telling Mika this is we had to fix it while we was in the air, fix the plane while we was in the air, and we got the deal, and then we were just like, man, we're gonna have to figure out how to list this. We had been hearing about it, we've been throwing that idea around, we've been talking about it, and then we got this deal in the contract. We was just like, man, let's just go ahead and do this one. And we didn't have it completely figured out from the beginning, but we were just like, let's just take action. Let's just implement it and go. And we've been doing it and we've gotten real far in this one. It's just like, it's all, what I'm saying? We're gonna see how it goes. It's not wrapped up, but it's just like even getting this far, I've personally already broken down like what like I want to say like limiting beliefs, but I got enough proof of concept that this is like an official exit strategy that we can do on it. So I'm definitely excited about this one.
Yeah, no doubt, man. Definitely excited. Something that we definitely look forward to doing. Speaking of that, man, we got Mark over here on IG, man. Mark called me like a month ago, a couple of months ago, and was telling me about, hey, man, working on listing properties while we got them under contract, da 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 da. And I had been hearing about it,
Yeah.
me and Cordero, we had been hearing about it different places, da 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 da. I was like, man, you might want to try this, man. You know,
Yeah.
so we kicked it around, and was like, man, we saw. I think it was last straw. Was like Sean Terry was doing it. Like you saw an interview with Sean Terry doing it, and we
Yeah.
was like, man, if this is what Sean Terry doing, man, it's the way.
Yeah.
What I'm
So,
saying? Shout out to Sean Terry, man. He a gold in this wholesaling game, man, for sure.
man, shout out to Sean Terry. But that was definitely what it was. That for those of you who don't know, it was that interview with Steve Tran on the real estate disruptors. And again, like I think we saw that, and then the next couple of days we got this deal, or it was all within the same time frame. Like that's my biggest thing is the fact that this all happened quick. We didn't hesitate to implement it. We were just like, let's go ahead and do it. We utilized the resources that we had available to us to figure out exactly how to get it done. But I'm just, I'm at peace with the fact that we executed so swiftly on it no matter how win, like I said, win, lose, or draw, it's just like this is definitely a new exit strategy. This is definitely what we're doing. Shout out to Willie Johnson. Matter of fact, man, William, my grandfather's name was William, and they called him Willie. And shout out to Willie Johnson. That's a good name. You're in good company, sir.
Yeah, no doubt, man, no doubt. But what are we doing? Like we just kind of mentioned briefly. We're listening while we're on the contract. Like, what exactly are we doing? What does this look like? What do we mean by this is a different exit strategy? You know,
Yeah.
kind of break it down. For like we're talking to people who maybe have never done this. Maybe they did a couple of deals. Maybe they done no deals. And like, what are you talking about? You like going and finding properties on market
Yeah.
and putting them under contract, or like what are you doing?
Or maybe they like Byron. done over 100 deals, or me, I've done
Yeah.
close to almost 80 deals and never
Mhm.
heard it. Like, was like, what is this? You know what I mean? Like, you cranking this thing out. And so essentially what this is, and I like how you put that, because that's probably more of a common theme out there, is um, wholesaling properties are on market. And no, that's not what we're doing. That's not what we're talking about here. What we're talking about is we're getting properties under contract that are off market. And what we're saying is we're getting the right paperwork in place, we're getting the right conversation in place, so that way we can list their property on the market before we actually close on it. While it's still in their name, they still possess the property, they're still the owner, they still have full ownership, but we're allowed to go ahead and list it on the property for them. Now, this is not quite an ovation. And again, I'm still kind of not familiar with the terms, but I think the major difference between what we're doing and a novation is, I think it's really the as is portion of it. And probably some other details. You can correct me if you're wrong, but a novation is saying, hey, we're basically partnering up. We'll put the work in the property. If it needs a new HVAC, if it needs some paint, needs some touch ups, we're going to go ahead and do all of that. Invest in the property and list it, and we're going to do this and that and this and that, and then you get a guaranteed percent, and then we get whatever's left over, right? What we're doing is a straight as is. We're not touching anything. We're just saying, hey, we're guaranteeing you this price, boom, where you want it, and we'll talk about numbers in a second. But we're guaranteeing you this price right here, and then we're going to list it so that way we can get a lot more feedback and a lot more information about the market and what we need to do. And even we can ultimately find a buyer and get more eyes on it for you. So that way we can make sure you get your property sold. Um, and eyes on it outside of our natural investor pool that we have. We need to get some people looking at it from the market. And so that's essentially what we're doing. And we could talk about like the actual paperwork and numbers and stuff like that.
Yeah, no doubt, man. I got to shout out Caretha for sure. Like, we got to shout out Caretha, man. She's a big dog. She was mentioning this too to me.
Yeah.
That's what made me like, man, this got to be, because it was like Mark told me, Caretha told me, and then like Cordero just wake up one day and he jumping up and down. Man, I watch Shantir. I'm like, man, hold on, man, calm down.
Yeah.
What happened?
Yeah, man. Also, too, we was talking about doing the whole Facebook thing too. So I'm thinking way past just doing one deal. I'm thinking about adding a new exit strategy. It's like getting excited about the fact that you're going from just doing wholesales. Now you have the capacity to flip some of those deals. So you can think, oh, I can do larger spreads. I can get access to money and lending and stuff like that. You're like, it's a new exit strategy.
It's a new tool in your tool belt. It's like, for me, what flipping did for me, it's like, for like flipping, like, dude, I probably made, flipping this year, made like 300,000 flipping. That's what I'm saying. Like, you add one tool to your tool belt, we talking about.
It's like it's an extra key to the keychain. Is really what it is, because it opens some doors for you, dude.
Open some doors.
Absolutely, shout out to Caretha, because like I said, we just use the resources available. Caretha, let us get access.
Just over some resources, man. We took advantage of them.
Took full advantage.
Shout out to Caretha, man. Come on, man. You can't find people like that everywhere, man.
Yeah. So that's why I'm always saying, Caretha the big dog, Caretha, like I said.
Cordero say that, it's like, man, Byron be finding these people. It's like, dude, I do be running into some good people though, for sure.
Yeah.
I do. I be running into some good people for sure. I don't know what it is. It's like, man, a lot of people be like, man, you trust so many people. It's like, dude, I don't hardly run into nothing but good people.
Yeah. And I think, in the book, Who Not How, to find a who, you have to be a who. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I think it's good. Folks be like, man, I know Byron. You know what I mean? I got Byron Scott information. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. I know a big dog in the business, so a big fish in the pond. So it's like, you be a who, you tend to attract people. And they say birds of a feather flock together and stuff like that. We're gonna say that for Mindset Monday.
Yeah.
But let's talk about the paperwork, man, and I guess, yeah, and then we can break down the numbers on the deal and what we're expecting or whatever. But do you remember some, like, what are some of the papers? Because I really had to like get it all signed and
So
stuff.
crazy thing about this particular deal is that we went into the deal just
Yeah,
thinking we just gonna wholesale it. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? It's like we didn't even think nothing else. It's like it's a wholesale deal. We just gonna wholesale it, be done with it. You know what I'm saying? And then Cordero wakes up one morning and he going crazy about Sean Terry, Steve Train. I don't know. Seemed like he stayed up all night and watched it over and over and over again. Like he was reciting everything they said.
I watched it one time.
And but he was excited about it. So I was like, why don't we just try it on this one? You know what I'm saying? It's
Yeah,
like if we end up messing it up or screwing it up, we just paying for tuition. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
We
that's
just paying to learn. You know what I'm saying? So, but come to find out, wholesaling deal wasn't about gonna work anyways. It probably would have worked, but this
if
is
we
way
find the
better.
right buyer, and this is just
Yeah,
making that process of finding the right buyer easier.
a zillion times easier. Well,
Yeah,
we ain't have to find the right buyer. The right buyer has to find us.
essentially that's what it is. And so again, the speed of implementation is big. That's why like I watched it. But we was talking about this too, is just like how really it was a lot of C's, because not only like it was like Byron says, a couple people was talking about it here, a couple people was talking about it here, but I had also like a couple people was mentioning the idea, and novation has become like a big thing. You know what I mean? I'm just like, man, how you do this novation thing? What even is novation? And I'm still not even sure. You don't have to master a thing before you start trying to take action and go in that direction. And so um, we had heard a lot about this, heard a lot about that, or whatever. So when I saw the video, it was just because he was answering all the questions I had. He was answering those questions directly. I was like,
Yeah.
okay. And so we put that together. But we did go into it. The reason why we went into it thinking it was going to be a wholesale deal is because of the price point.
The price point was low. But hey, let's shout out some of these people on IG, man. Some of the OGs coming through on IG. Woman
Yeah.
of Steel, man. Woman of Steel is an OG, man. She was rolling through that thing when Cordero was on the chats, man.
Yeah, I remember Woman of Steel.
Saran came through this thing. Jesse came through. Matthew up in here. Matthew had a comment, man. We're finna get to it right now.
Yeah.
Ty, man, you already know Ty, big dog.
Yeah.
But
Picture.
John Wick came through. Yeah, man. Some of the OGs came through, man. Austin Investments came through, so had to shout them out for sure. But Matthew said I got 5K to get started, but no time. How should I start? Shoot, you gotta carve out some time though, man.
Yeah.
Like you gotta carve out something. Like you can't have nothing. Like you gotta have some time.
Yeah,
But I
dude.
would say, man, you gotta carve out some time. And to be honest, man, unless you're just a businessman, and even if you're a businessman, it's kind of like Chick-fil-A. You don't just buy Chick-fil-A and then say I ain't got no time to be, at Chick-fil-A, and you just own the Chick-fil-A and you got workers working and da da da. It doesn't work like that at Chick-fil-A. What they make you do?
You gotta build that thing. You gotta put some elbow grease. If you got money, some people is just putting time and elbow grease in with no money. You got 5K, that don't mean you don't put the time and elbow grease. That means you got rocket fuel at that point.
That's what I'm saying. Like Chick-fil-A do it right. Or how do they do it right? The person who own the Chick-fil-A, they got to go work.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You don't get to just own the Chick-fil-A and just sit back at your house and let the workers work and collect all the money. Nah, dude, you gotta get in that work. We want to see you make some chicken sandwiches. We want to see you drop some fingers. You know what I'm saying? We want to see you drop the fries. We want to see you serve some people. You know what I'm saying? So it's like you don't just hire some VAs to get them to work and da 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 da. Even though you got money, it's like you need to get on the dollar. You know what I'm saying? Get on the dollar and make some calls. Like start there. You got 5K, go get $1. Get you some leads, skip tracing. That costs you a couple $100. So maybe $500. and you dialing. You know what I'm saying? You dialing $500, you dialing, and get in the mail room. You may just find a deal. You know what I'm saying? And then you can hire somebody to cold call for you. You see what I'm saying? Like,
Or
go ahead.
no, I was gonna say I got a hot because I like the way you put that. Essentially, you got to put the work in, but I got a hot take on this that I guess I mean maybe is and it's almost not even worth mentioning, but it is the only way I can see this working. Is if you got the money and you got the overall mindset of general direction and structure, you can partner with the young dude that's really trying to get his hustle on. You can say, hey man, I'll finance the dialer and I'll finance the leads and I'll, pay attention to the overall structure and I'll do the dispo or something if you just jump in the dialer and then we can split it 50-50 or however you want to do it. But either way, somebody gonna have to put that work in, and you can't just hire people who don't know anything like a VA or something if you don't know anything. Because we talked about that, and what Byron is saying is just like they don't tell you to do that at Chick-fil-A just for a badge of honor, like a Girl Scout badge or a Boy Scout badge. They tell you to do that because it's very important that the head, the leader knows how to run and operate, at least
knows how it's supposed to be ran too.
Exactly. So know what standard to hold everybody to.
You got to have a standard. You got to have a process. You got to know the process so that you can hold people to the process. You know what I'm saying? So Kiera said, beginner wholesaler, ready to get my first deal. Man, you ready to get that first deal, man. Just keep taking action, man. Keep taking action. Keep grinding. Keep you already taking action by showing up. You know what I'm saying?
I was gonna say keep checking out these lives. Like some like I know Zay be checking them out. Like when you got a chance, whether it's our lives, whether it's Kong, whether it's Flip Man, just keep fueling your mind while you're doing it. Because while you're doing it, there's always gonna be another question that you need answered. There's always gonna be something. But if you in this mindset, it'll make it that much. It's like when you try to get in shape, you try to get your summer body. I guarantee you, if you watch some Arnold Schwarzenegger Get Pumped videos and watch him back in the 70s, Diesel, then it's just going to be inspirational to you. And it's going to give you a lot of new ideas and refreshing thoughts that keep you going on that journey. So stay here and then take action too on what we say or whatever you hear. So Kiera,
yeah, man, I think you definitely gotta, just keep taking that action, man. Just keep grinding, keep showing up for sure. Kiera said, I found REI from Flip Man. Man, dude, I gotta go back and watch that Flip Man video. Man, I made a video this morning, on IG, man, waking up as I worked out. Dude, I made a video this morning. I had to go back and listen to that mug. It was like,
man. I saw it, but I didn't click on it yet.
I'm like, man, I was in the zone, man. I was like, dude, man.
That was at 5:30.
Yeah, gotta get up and go, man. Get that mile in. I'm like Cordero, man. I'm hitting that mile in the morning, man. I'm hitting that mile. I'm on that mile run.
Back in high school, I did mine at night.
I'm doing mine in the morning. It looked like night out there, but
yeah, I guess it's all subjective for sure.
Man, I'm getting that mile run. Hey, and that thing go downhill. Turn that thing around. Whoop, down. Turn back around.
Why are you running up and okay.
Up
yeah, you going all the way in, but
all the way in.
This prevents, man. Batch. I want to tell you, listen, like I always say, it doesn't matter. You find the one that you like the most, compare a couple features.
What'd you say, Cordero? Say again.
Batch.
It doesn't matter.
Who said that?
You don't know about that.
Wrestling, ain't it?
Hey, Dwayne Johnson, The Rock. It doesn't matter. Oh,
yeah, no, that's classic.
I had to throw that one out there. We say, hey, Jugger said, it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Like which one you choose. I just want to be.
Hey, what matters is you better be up in there.
That's all. That's all. You better be up in there. But I like Batch because, especially if you're getting started, it's way more user friendly. And it's real simple. If you ever worked at a call center or something like that, it'll remind you of that setup. But even if you haven't, it's very simple. These other ones, they're a little bit more complicated. But everybody's, if you like Mojo, I use Mojo. If you like ZenCall, I don't even think it's called ZenCall. If you like
Yeah.
whatever call tools, do it. Just find the one you like. Same thing with any of this text platforms with CRMs. Find one you like that works for you, and just be up in there though. Use that thing, but batch,
Yeah,
batch.
no doubt, man. So Kira said, I've been calling and driving for dollars. That's what's up, man. I would probably, I mean, you could drive for dollars, but man.
I was thinking that same thing. What you? I was about to
Another thing though, I would say though, to all the beginners that's going out here trying to get some traction, go find some buyers, man. It's like that's where you get lost. It's like you're not connecting with people who doing deals. You
Yeah.
all alone. You out there just looking for houses. Like you ain't connecting with nobody else who doing deals.
Yeah.
You gotta get connected with people who are doing deals. That's the first thing, right? Well, maybe that's the second thing I would do. The first thing is talk to everybody you know and let them know that hey, you know, well, maybe you need to talk to the buyers first. It's like maybe talk to some buyers first. Try to find some people who buying real estate. You
Hey,
can
my
drive.
favorite thing is
Go
somebody
ahead.
mentioned do them both. You can do
Yeah,
them at
doing
the
both.
same time. You can do both at the same
Find
time.
buyers.
Yeah.
Yeah, same. Find buyers. My bad. Find buyers and talk to people.
Yeah,
That's
man.
big. Like I know a dude who finding deals. Like, dude, he had like 5 leads, good leads, and he ain't doing nothing but talking to the people that he know. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He just talking to all the people that he know and tell them, hey, look, I know a guy that's looking to buy properties, you know, in this area. And he just talking to everybody. He know everybody. Right. It's like, dude, you about to make some happen. You talking to everybody.
Everybody.
Everybody. He at the grocery store talk finding people. He at weddings finding people. He all over the place. He ain't sitting at the house playing 2K finding people, right?
Yeah, man.
He at work finding people. You know?
Yeah, shout out to See It, man. See It is my barber, and he was talking about he likes to fish, and he was talking about that new age technology where you can got like radars and stuff on the boat and all of that. It make people lose they. Now he didn't call it common sense, but basically your instinct on where to think, like how to think like a fish. And they're thinking about, well, my radar says this, and they thinking about simple. They're forgetting about simple stuff like the fish that are up under the dock because it's hot outside. So they're trying to cool off in the shade. And they forget about those things. And so, like in this business, you can get lost in which dialer to use, which platform to use, and you could forget that your intuition should tell you, well, let me just tell my mom that I'm buying houses, and maybe she knows some people at work. Like maybe one of my cousins got a house that they want to sell. I'm steady more thinking about this business and the general public and not just thinking about what's right up under my nose. At the end of the day, man.
Yeah.
I'm on that 75 hard right now, man. I need it. Yeah. And it shows, Ty. I can tell.
Dude,
I don't know if you started it today or 75 days ago, but you know what I'm saying?
Dude. Man, Tyler like a football player out there, man. He ready to go. Line up for the Georgia Bulldogs out this mug.
For sure.
For sure. But yeah, man. So back to the deal, man. So this deal, we was looking to wholesale it. Cordero wakes up, goes crazy. So we end up, I tell Cordero, all right, man, okay. You know, I know somebody. I hit up Caretha hook us up with all kind of resources. We take those resources, you know, we put together a document, a disclosure. We were disclosure in a attorney in fact.
Yeah, which basically gives us power of attorney. Yeah.
Yeah, gives us power of attorney. We put that document together. We sent it to this guy, and then Cordero started working his magic.
Yeah, man. Yeah. So, like you said, we use those resources. And then the next thing is, what does that conversation look like to go ahead and get him to sign? Again, we were talking about this. Somebody was just like, I got 2 buyers wanting to go to the property. What does that look like? It's like, well, we're trying to get a seller to allow us to list a property before we buy it and get continuous showings to people to show it Well, he thought we was
Yeah.
just going to host, like, buy it straight out. So what I
Yeah.
did was
Well, I
just get,
think it kind of helped. Like our approach kind of helps. The fact that
yeah,
we
that's,
say we work with a network of investors. We did not come up there and tell
yeah,
him,
yeah,
"Hey,
yeah,
we buying your property cash as is. We gonna buy it. We got cash." Nah, we didn't do
yeah,
that. We work with a
yeah,
network of investors that's buying an area. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah,
we kind of set ourselves up as a service provider in that we're matching you with a buyer, right?
exactly.
So
That's what it
I
was.
think that may have made it a little bit easier to have that conversation a little bit, maybe.
100%. That's what not that we're gonna buy it outright, but I meant like it was gonna be a simple process that we have our network of investors, and any one of which any one of our network of investors, any one of the investors in our network could close on the property. And so he had a certain expectation. And then we did have to adjust it slightly. But again, like Byron said, because that's our natural approach, it was just okay now. And also, too, he didn't let it. Once we got somebody in there to look at the property, he did not disclose that thing was. Whoo, it was in a decent area. It was a decent property. It was just not well taken care of. We
Oh
talked
man.
foundation, plumbing,
Uh,
electric,
uh,
roof, the
uh,
won't stay still.
uh.
The thing,
Property was getting up and walking away.
the property was literally moonwalking to the edge of the driveway, and every morning they had to scoot it back to where it was at every morning. So it was like crazy property. So that was my conversation then, was just like, man, we didn't realize all these things that was going on in the property, and we still want to get access to some of our investors to go ahead and finance this property, but we want to make sure that we're getting the most eyes on it and we're getting the most feedback from the market. And what we want to do is, I understand that your timeline, you want to close within this. We want to make sure we can do that. Can we go ahead and list it ahead of time before we close on it, so that way we're getting enough feedback and we're getting the right amount of eyes on it, so that way we can guarantee that we can go ahead and close. And he understanding that you're setting that right expectation with him, and then I'm letting him know it's a limited liability power of attorney. I think is what it's called, or it may just be limited power of attorney, in fact. But basically, what that means, because there's different types of power of attorney. Like I can get, maybe let's say I was in the military and I'm out of state, I can give my mom full power of attorney to handle everything while I'm gone here in the States for me. She can do anything for me in my name. But this is limited, and what it is just explaining to him this only is in regards to this property. I can't go to the bank and withdraw money for you or nothing crazy like that. It's only in regards to this property, and it's only for this period of time. Once this transaction is complete, the power of attorney dissipates. It says that right there in the purchase agreement. And also the disclosure, and the disclosure agreement is just good to have in general. Probably should just add that to all contracts. It's just a page that basically says, and so we just want to disclose, obviously we are investors, so we are purchasing this property to make money on the property. And it states in the disclosure agreement that means we could flip the property, we could assign it, list it on the market, rent it out, turn it to an Airbnb. We just wanted to disclose that we're making money. And most sellers are A-okay with that, as long as they're A-okay with that and they understand what we do. We're investors. That's what we do. But what I think was major key was when you're having that initial call, with that initial acquisitions call with them, let them know up front. And I started doing this with mostly all of our calls, is I'm letting them know up front, hey, just wanted to give you, a clear disclosure. I mean, obviously we're investors, so we are purchasing the property to make money. And this is before you've gotten them under contract, is what I'm talking about. I'm just giving you guys an example. Yeah, just so you know, we're here to make money. Obviously we could flip it, list it on the market, do this, do that, do this, so on. And like, yeah, absolutely. So that way, after you get through that entire process and then you actually get them under contract, you send them that disclosure agreement, and then you can say, well, yeah, this is just like I was talking about earlier. This is the disclosure right here. And then you can explain to them the power of attorney, in fact, to go ahead and list it on the market, right? That's what I did. Got him to go ahead and sign it. He signed it. And then there's been several things I've had to get this guy to sign for this, but we signed that. And then there was a process where we had to actually go list the property on the market. May need Mika to go ahead and give a breakdown to all of that stuff. I'm not, if you can remember.
Well, with listing the property on the market, we took a lot of resources from Sean Terry,
Yeah.
and we were able to watch a video where he showed up. We went through the site called Brokerless, and we were able to go on there, sign up with them, go through their process of getting the property listed. And they just had different stuff that we had to do, which you just have to follow through what their instructions, follow through that, and we was able to get the property listed. And it has like a brokerage in the area that they use to list it with, and then it has like our disposition manager phone number, right? To where they call the number that's there, they calling our disposition manager. So all the offers come to us. So we only thing we did was get the man under contract, right? Just like anybody else. We got him under contract. We got it under contract. We got the disclosure sign and the attorney in fact, right? The power of attorney. And then from that, we was able to list the property. The only other thing we needed from him was I think a disclosure or something like that.
Yeah.
We needed one paper from him to get it officially listed, right?
It was that disclosure. So this is a property disclosure. On this particular transaction, they let us know that sometimes we need them to sign a couple pages. It depends on what state you're in and the ordinance for that particular area. This area, all we needed was the Texas disclosure, which basically goes to and literally details every little thing about the property. The oven down to the microwave. Is the microwave in good condition? Yes or no? Yes or no? Went through that. It took me like 2 hours to get him to go through that, man. But we got it. We got that signed, and we got that thing live on the market, and we started getting feedback.
Yeah, no doubt, man. And as soon as we put that thing on the market, buyers began to show up. No, I've never seen anything like it. You know what I'm saying? Because I never listed a property like that as is at that steep of a discount. You know what I'm saying? Buyers just begin to just show up, and really, like, I don't even think we even thought about this. But dude, you know how many buyers we just picked up in Fort Worth? It's like, dude, doing this allowed us to pick up a ton of buyers in that area. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, we picked up a lot of buyers in Fort Worth. So this also going to help us build our buyer pool. So I'm excited about it. I think a couple of things I didn't like. One is that, it's kind of tough to explain to people what's going on, like why are we listing your property? Why are we, you know what I'm saying? I think that's kind of tough, but we still made it through. And I think we're still like refining how we present that, what we're going to say, how we're going to go about telling people what we're doing. I think we're still working on that, refining that, going to make it smooth and better. Like, that's one thing that's tough. Another thing that's tough is just going through Brokerless and getting it listed for the first time. But I'm thinking once we figure out what we need to do, it'll make it a lot easier to get through it. But Mika did a great job. Our disposition manager did a great job of making it through there and getting it listed, right? Another con to the situation is that, you get a lot of people that want to go see it, but you got to make sure that you set it up where they can, get them all in there where they can access it, right? I don't know how we're going to want to tackle this in the future, but maybe we want like one set day where it's like, okay, on this day, we're bringing people to this house. They're going to come see it, You see what I'm saying? Versus like appointment. Like, you got 15 different appointments. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. It's like, hey, we almost can tell them like, hey, look, we're going to bring people to the house. Almost like, hey, just almost like go away. It's like, you probably wouldn't even want to be here. You know what I'm saying? We're going to bring a group of our investors. They're going to come see the property. You're welcome to be there. But, maybe we tell people like, hey, you don't have to be here, right? We just need to get access to the property, bring our group of investors, and let them see the property, right?
Yeah.
I'm thinking that's maybe a way that we want to go versus trying to set up so many appointments because, like, tenants get tired out, right? People who
Yeah.
letting people in the house get tired out.
Heaven forbid it's the actual owner. We're lucky, like it's not the guy who lives there, it's
Yeah.
his son who lives in the property. But I think Byron makes a lot of great points, especially like as far as like how to communicate it to the seller. What I think again, we've had to fix the plane while we was in the air. This was we wasn't doing this. Not only was we not intending to do this from the outset, but also we didn't even know how to do this from the beginning. We
No,
learned
we
how
didn't
to do
take no
it.
class. We wasn't taught. Nobody was sitting there holding our hand.
Nah, dude. We just
Cordero
learned.
just woke up one morning and say we got to do it, and we just started doing it.
Yeah. And so, with that being said, I think in like I'm looking at it from the perspective. Okay, now we did it. We found the right seller to do it with. Um, but I just think knowing if you know it up front, like I was saying, for that little bit when I was just like, you tell the person in that initial discovery call and acquisition call to get them under contract, you're mentioning, just as a disclosure, obviously we're trying to make some money on, we're obviously doing this to invest in and make money, whether we do it this. That little thing alone is enough of an adjustment that what I do is I always set the expectation and they're okay with it. And so as far as like how to communicate it to a person, it's like now I know that we're trying to do this. I can start now setting the expectation with that seller up front, and it won't be as much of a challenge going forward when it's like trying to tell it, like let them know that this is what we're going to do, and just let them know that we're going to be listing it. Even if setting the expectation that we're going to do the showings, like as long as we know what we're going to do up front, it's a lot much easier to set that expectation. I always say this with Byron. Byron doesn't, I don't think Byron agrees as much, but I'm just saying they're not the same thing whatsoever. But as far as like we didn't believe it, and then once you push past it, now it's just a regular occurrence. It's like I always make the example. I'm sure some of y'all don't understand how we let the seller know up front that we're essentially we're wholesaling it, that we got a network of investors and we're a service provider. Because some people teach you, a lot of people teach you, go act like you're the buyer and do that.
Yeah.
But
my thing is like there's people like there's big companies out here that do what we say we do. Like OfferPad, it's like, oh, they have commercials about it. It's like, look at all these offers we can go get you. You know what I'm saying? It's like, it's very believable. Like there's other people who do that. Like people who get you insurance. Like insurance, what they call insurance brokers. It's like they go hunt for the best deal.
And stuff
You know
like
what I'm saying?
that.
So that's what I'm saying. Like that's more like that's more like logical.
But that's
me.
like real estate broker. Yeah.
It's like that's more logical to me. You just going out here hunting for it, for me. You know what I'm saying? It's like that makes sense to me. Like I'm going to the insurance person. Hey, give me the lowest rate you can. Hey, I found you something for this low. You know what I'm saying? It's like, hey, give me the best offer you can. Hey, I found you something for this high. You know what I'm saying?
I think it's more logical too. Like, I think you were the first person I heard it from, though. Like when you explained it, I was like, why doesn't everybody talk about it this way? Most people are taught pretend like you're the buyer, and they're like, well, what do I do with this? I'm like,
what if they find out? What if they find out?
And so they're like, they can't mentally, it's like a mental barrier. They don't get it. And so I'm saying it's just like, I think maybe at some point this will become a norm for us and it won't be as much. But in the beginning, it was just like, well, how we were literally, and honestly, I was kind of like, I don't know how, but I felt confident we should go ahead and do it.
Because I remember you saying at one time, you was like, I don't know if I can pitch something I don't feel confident in. Like,
if I don't believe in something wholeheartely, I can't. I tried that for years in sales. If I don't really believe in it, I'm going to be trash. I'm not going to be elite like Cash. Shout out to Cash, man. Thank you, sir. But I'm not going to be elite at it if I don't believe in it. You know what I mean? And so that was why once I kind of watched that video, but also it was a number.
Once you watched that Shad Tear video, man,
that was the icing on the cake. I was just like, Now I understand it. It opened it clicked something. I'm like, we can go in. And now you see we this far in the process. Cause I'm like, nah, I believe in it. I got it, Byron. I can get the communication with the sellers, dog. I feel very confident in this because it makes sense to me now. But if it didn't, we couldn't. But again, these are just things. This is our first time through, and you're going to see how we evolve. But that's what it's about: is speed of implementation. But I would say what I think is one of the cons is you all know like listing like wholesaling properties that are on market is becoming like a fad now, like it's a popular thing in some context. So with this property, honestly, this is ripe for the picking. If you was trying to wholesale on market properties, this is ripe for the picking. So some of the buyers that you get are wholesalers, and there's a big part of like you got to screen those jokers out for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Like you got to and have a way that you screen them out. Like you can easily get fooled or tricked by, oh, we're just going to do, no, trust me, we're going to do that. No, dude.
I think one thing that do help still though is like, okay, you get the proof of funds, you can get other stuff, but when they have an agent, wholesalers rarely have an agent.
That is true.
It's like when they do have an agent, it's like, okay, I kind of feel better about them actually being a buyer. Now, whether they're serious or not serious, at least they're not a wholesaler.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Did New Western have an agent?
But you know who New Western is. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Not because they was regular. I was thinking about though, but
the regular wholesalers ain't gonna have no agent.
Yeah, that's what I mean, and that's really, I'm glad you pointed it out because that's really what I was thinking about. I was thinking that too. I was thinking, well, surely we can distinguish. It would be a bunch of like scraggly guys trying to get their first deal, and we'd be like, you're obviously a wholesaler, but no, it was kind of like it was a couple of folks that kind of was a little bit more deceptive, and we had to be like, hold on, we'll ask them this and ask them that question, and they came ready, but they were still like, well, can we get a 30-day option period?
Yeah.
Oh, come on, bro.
Yeah, but that's the thing though. We experienced though. We know the deal. We know what to let slide. We know what not to let slide. You know, we can calculate, you know, what we should do in this situation, that situation. So, you know,
we can see right through all that. We can see right through all that, yo.
Yeah, for sure. But man, and we're not done with the deal yet. So we're still taking offers. We're actually under contract with somebody. We're gonna see what they do. We got the property for 170. So we're gonna try to. I think we should at least try to make 20 grand. You know what I'm saying?
If you only knew what I was thinking.
You stupid man.
You only knew what I was thinking,
dude.
We need to get some. What would they say? Some reparations for the damages from that foundation issues that was not mentioned in the beginning, dog. No, but just so FYI, just a little quick. Originally, this was a blue seller, easygoing. If you know your 4 seller types, you got your green, your red, your blue, and your yellow, which is yellow for the people who is not from the South. But this was a blue seller. He was easygoing. He gave us a nice price. He was at like, I need 175. I think the ARV was like 270 or 280 something, right? And I was just like, okay, absolutely. And I hit him with that. You know, I'll go to my team and see if we can go ahead and make the 175 work. I'm not sure. But let me ask you this. If they come back and they're like 260, 265, I mean, do you think is there any reason why we could, or would you be opposed to getting that, making that work today or something like that? He was like, I'll do 270. And I was like, okay.
Talk yourself down. He just talked himself down.
I wasn't really doing that to talk him down. I was doing that to make sure that he was good at 275.
That's what I'm saying. You confirming where he would be good at. But he just talked himself down.
Yeah. He's like, 270. I was just like, dude. Okay.
I didn't ask you to come down.
I was just saying, if we did come in 265, what would you say? 270. Oh, okay. Right. That's the person that you don't actually hang up on. You don't really like, let me call you back. You be like, let me put you on a brief hold while I talk with my underwriting team.
Yeah,
Hey,
for
Byron,
sure. For sure.
send the contract over, dude. Send the contract over to him right now. I still got him on the phone.
Man, it's crazy. But man, Ty's showing love, man. Said this is a must live to watch daily. Hit them notifications. Hey man, y'all liking the video, y'all watching the video. I appreciate the love, man. Y'all commenting all kind of stuff, man. Appreciate y'all for sure.
For
So,
sure, for
but
sure.
man, we've been in here 45 minutes, man. We gotta run and make some stuff happen, man. But we appreciate y'all coming through. We got Friday, we got Fundamental Friday tomorrow, man. Come through, check us out. Like any video you see that we posting, like it, you know, comment, interact with us, man. We like cutting it up with y'all, man. So make sure you're interacting, commenting, all that other good stuff. Share our stuff if you get a chance, man. But man, we up out of this thing, man. Until tomorrow, y'all let us know what y'all want us to talk about too, man. We love to answer y'all questions. Love it for y'all to give us some topics, man. So y'all let us know what y'all want us to do, what y'all want to see. But man, we up out of this thing. Until tomorrow, man.
I'll let y'all.